Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm taking you through a cozy, neutral master bedroom makeover, one that has been long overdue. I wanted the space to feel serene and intentional with layers of texture, warmth, and just a hint of old world charm. That being said, let's just jump right into it. Back in 2023, I painted this room from purple, which was the previous owner's color of choice for this room, to white with an accent wall in this sage green color. And while I loved it at the time, it did take me about a year to realize my style was evolving. I've been thinking about this room design long enough, and I figured to start off with a blank canvas. So I covered the accent wall with the same color of the rest of the room. This is Snowbound by Sherwin-Williams, which is a shade of white that instantly brightened the space. And since I will be adding moody elements into this bedroom, I really enjoyed that juxtaposition of crisp white walls with earthy elements. Next, I brought in the bed. This is the MSTER recliner bed, which is not sponsored, by the way. Me and my husband purchased it, but we have loved it because of the comfort and functionality that it provides. To give it a more custom and elevated look, I framed it with this upholstered bed I found on Amazon, and I'm only using the outer frame on the outskirts of the bed. I did read that the actual mattress frame from the upholstered bed has mixed reviews on quality, but since I already have the MSTER frame holding my mattresses, that is not an issue that was going to apply to me. While the solution worked really well in this case, I would suggest you do your research if you're considering buying this product. In a world of white canvases, we always need a statement, and instead of committing to wall moldings that I could regret in a few years, I decided to go with a tapestry. I have been loving the large tapestries partially covered by the bed headboard, and so my choice was this magnolia tapestry that I just shared. The muted tones and the classic design give the space an old soul feeling that I love. Hanging it was a little nerve-wracking, but once it was up, I knew that I made the right choice. Now for one of my favorite moments. These linen curtains were actually sent to me by 2 Pages, and I couldn't be more grateful. These are from the Jawara collection in the shade Oatmeal. They are also blackouts and have a triple pleat. These curtains also have memory shaping, which means the pleat stays intact, giving it an elegant drape. The hooks that these come with are also super sturdy, and I was impressed because last year I put curtains all over the common areas of my home. And the hooks that I work with had nothing to do with these right here when it comes to quality. So I love that they pay attention to even the smallest details. Another thing that I would like to mention is that even with all the customizations of these curtains, I got them fairly quick. I believe it was a matter of a week, which was a very pleasant surprise. So I am pairing them with these Amazon curtain rods. And usually I would choose longer curtain rods for my windows, but given the fact that my windows are so close to the corner of the wall, I did not have enough room to go any larger so that it looked proportionate on both sides. When I was in the process of choosing these curtains, 2 Pages was kind enough to send me the booklets for samples, and I was able to see the colors in real life and compare them. At first, I thought I was gonna go with a darker shade of beige. In my opinion, the oatmeal shade looked too light for white walls, but after presenting all the samples with the rug that I'm going to use as well as the tapestry, I decided that oatmeal was the right color for this project. Now, I was a little reluctant. I thought it was not going to give me enough contrast, but lo and behold, as soon as I put these curtains in the room, the way the sun shines into this area makes for these curtains to magically acquire the right shade of beige that I was going for. Moral of the story, do not pass on those sample booklets before you decide on your final purchase. Overall, I'm very happy with my curtains. The color is perfect with the tapestry. The texture is beautiful, so thank you so much again, 2 Pages, for sending these over. I was not kidding when I said that I wanted to make a statement on this blank wall. And of course, I have to add some kind of sconces. I sourced these candle sconces from Amazon. They were fairly affordable and they have such a beautiful patina to them. They're also longer than the typical candle sconce, which will go perfect with the tapestry. I'm going to place one on each side of the tapestry, and I did use an anchor for each one of these. I'm going to complete them with a couple of battery operated candles. Now, I know ideally you want to use real candles for this, but considering that there's an upholster bed right underneath, I think it's a fire hazard. I still really liked how these turn out, and they contribute to a romantic, cozy vibe, as well as making a statement in this wall behind the bed. I suffer from allergies, so typically I oppose rugs in my room, as well as we have dogs that sleep here, so I figured I would not tuck this in all the way underneath the bed so I can vacuum most of the rug regularly. Now I'm bringing in the nightstands, and these were definitely a point of debate between my husband and me, because he really wanted an open shelf nightstand like this one, and the only one that we ended up agreeing on was this one from Crate and Barrel. Now, these were definitely a splurge, but given the fact that our previous nightstands ended up being of such a bad quality, I figured I would save my pennies and buy something that would be a nice investment for many years to come. Same is the case with the table lamps I selected for this project, and these are the Gaily Alex and Live a Bliss table lamps. These were definitely another splurge for me, but I could not find another table lamp that I liked as much as this one. So I did have to wait in order to save up a little bit to get 2 of these for this project. The exaggerated empire lampshade that these have, along with the modern lines of the nightstand, make a nice contrast with the antique elements I have on the wall. Now for the styling of the nightstands, I'm going to start with these decorative books, which all came from HomeGoods, and I shared them recently. I particularly love these 2 on the shelf of the nightstands. Recently, I sourced this very beautiful distressed antique looking vase from HomeGoods. I believe it was $29.99, and I'm going to place it on the other side of my nightstand to balance out the table lamp that I have. Last year, I got these wisteria stems from Etsy, and I've been loving them so much. I wanted to add a little bit of a pop of color in this space, and since I know I'm going to be switching these for fall really soon, I figure I would borrow a couple from my vase in my living room and use them here to give some life, color, and a touch of outside nature inside my room. I styled my beloved olive ateliers bowl here as a grounding element. Its organic shape and raw texture create a beautiful contrast against the more structured lines like the book and the nightstand. Placing it on top of arranging things felt intentional, almost poetic, and proved that even the simplest object, when placed with purpose, can elevate the space. I added this candle for a soft ambient glow. The warm tone of the wax plays beautifully with the natural textures around it. Even though it's a simple HomeGoods find, it has elevated, minimalist look that blends right in with the rest of the styling. Sometimes it's not about a price tag, but only choosing items intentionally. To the side, I'm adding this small concrete match holder, which by the way, it's from Amazon. But it has that handcrafted, collected feel I love. The matches are just from Walmart, but the charcoal tips add the perfect moody contrast to the softer neutrals in this vignette. Even though it's just a tiny detail, it does make this whole scene feel thought and complete. like every object has a quiet role to play. Even though this was a dream project for me, this also happens to be his bedroom too. That is my husband, of course. So I kept his nightstand clean and simple, just like he asked. I added the book Surf Life to the shelf as a quiet nod to his love for the ocean. It feels personal, but still fits the palette, if you know what I mean. Then this square marble tray that I got from Amazon recently to anchor the space. I chose marble because it does add a sense of luxury, but without drawing too much attention. The clean lines and subtle veining make it feel timeless and even a little bit masculine, but still soft enough to complement the overall room. And then on top of that, a simple glass candle, minimal, intentional, and still a little elevated, just enough to make it feel considered, but never overdone. It is time to make the bed, and I have switched my fitted sheets, and now I'm relying on this top sheet to actually conceal the edge of the nectar frame inside the upholster frame. If you're new here, well, let me tell you, I live in South Florida and it's still very, very warm in here. Too warm for any kind of thick bedding, even with air conditioning. So I'm relying on this beautiful quilt that I recently sourced off of Sam's Club. That is right. This quilt looks just like those $100 and something quilt sets that are supposed to be affordable. This right here is just under $50. It is a king size quilt and it does include a couple of pillow shams. To me, it doesn't seem much different than the ones that they sell at Target. The color is absolutely beautiful and the quality is very comparable to those that are way more expensive than this one. I decided to layer my pillows in a couple of different patterns to bring depth and contrast to the bedding. The floral print adds a vintage romantic touch that ties back to the tapestry above the bed, while the grid pattern keeps things feeling fresh and modern. Both pillow covers are ones that I sourced off of Amazon. I added this woven bench at the foot of the bed not just for decor, but to protect our upholster frame from muddy little paws. Our dogs love to jump up for cuddles, and this gives them a soft landing that keeps the bed cleaner. That is, most of the time. The natural wood and woven texture bring in a relaxed, earthy layer that still feels intentional. And yes, I know what you're thinking. I know the white cushion is living dangerously in this room, but honestly, it is easier to clean the cushion than to clean the upholster frame. A little risky, a little practical, is just the right touch of cozy. This room is the closest I've been to my dream space. It's taken me months to design, plan, and collect each piece, slowly but with intention. And while it may look like a finished product in one video, it's still very much evolving. There's things that I still want to do in here, little details left to refine, but that's the beauty of home. It takes time. So let me know in the comment section down below, what was your favorite idea that I gave you in this video, if any. Thank you so much for letting me share this portion of my journey with you and for being here. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, and I really hope I can see you in the next one. Bye.